In this video, I want us to look at chaining the if construct, meaning we want to use the if statement independent of any other condition. Okay, so for me to demonstrate this, I will implement a simple program called or to calculate the cost of coffee. So let's say we open a coffee shop and we give the customer an option whether they want a large coffee, whether they want sugar, and whether they want cream. Okay, so I could have a customer who wants a large coffee with sugar and with cream. Now we're gonna have a base coffee. Okay, so the base coffee cost. So if you don't get anything added to the coffee, it's gonna be $5.50. Okay, so our total cost, our total coffee cost will be at the beginning, initially, will be whatever the base cost is. Okay, so with no additions, comma, the coffee cost will be the base cost. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, coffee. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to ask the user whether they want large coffee, whether they want sugar, whether they want cream. Now, these are three independent responses from the user. Okay, so I need to create three questions, three inputs. So we're gonna say size will be input, large coffee. Okay, and we're gonna assume that the customer will either say yes or no, type yes or no. Okay, so we'll now look at sugar. Okay, or let's just use sweet. And so we'll say do you want sugar? Sugar added? Okay, once again they can say yes or no. And let's use cream. Okay, input, cream added. Okay, once again they could say yes or no. So I need to independently check, so I need to check the order for the size, the sweetness, and whether there's need for a creamer. Okay, so for each check that I do, I will use an if construct. So I'm going to say if size is no, okay, then I know that, well, let's take that back. It makes sense to say yes, right? If they say yes, they want a large coffee, then I'm going to add $1 to my total coffee cost. So I'm going to say my total coffee cost will be what it currently is. Okay, what it currently is plus $1. Okay, great. So if the customer says yes, they want a large coffee, then I know that it will be $6 because $6.50 because I currently have that the total coffee cost is $5.50. And so I'm going to add $1, which makes it $6.50. Great. Now, I still need to check to see if they want any sugar. So that's another check. So I'm going to say if sweet is yes, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if sweet is yes, then I'm going to say total cost, okay, is the total cost plus, let's say, $3. Okay. Okay. So what's happening here? If the user says they want a large coffee, then we know that the total cost will be $6.50. If they then say that they want sugar, then we know the total cost will be $9.50. Okay. And so finally, I will check to see if cream is yes. Okay. Then I will say that total underscore cost is total underscore cost, total coffee cost, that is, plus, let's say, $2.50. Okay. Okay. So let's run this thing. We don't write the program to completion. In most cases, we write a piece and we test it. So large coffee, let's say yes. Sugar added, let's say yes. Cream added, let's say yes. Okay, seems to work. Now one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this be that lower. Okay. Why am I making this that lower? Well, if you remember from the last uh, video, a user could enter uppercase or lowercase or mixed case, and we need to be able to handle those. Okay. So if I decide to say capital S, it now still works. Or if I decide to say YES, it still works. Or if I decide to say small n with a capital O, it still works. Okay? Okay. So now I need to compute the total cost, or I need to print the total cost. So let's display the total cost of the coffee. Okay, so I'm going to say print total cost. I'm going to have a dollar sign and the cost will be there. Then I'm going to say dot format, and I know that it should contain total coffee cost. Okay, let's remember it's not a function, so these should not be here. Okay, great. And I need to close my print. Okay, so let's try and see if this program works. I'm going to say I don't want any large coffee, I don't want any sugar, I don't want any cream, so the cost is $5.50. Okay, now I'm going to do something here. I want 2 decimal points to show, so I'm going to say colon, a dot, a 2 for 2 decimal places, and an F, meaning decimal. Okay, so let's try again. I don't want any large coffee, I don't want any sugar, I don't want any cream. So now I get $5.50. Okay, so all I did was to say colon, a dot, 2 decimal places, and a F, which means a number with a decimal point. Okay. Okay, so let's run this again, but this time I'm going to say I want a large coffee. Yes. I want sugar added. Yes. So it means that my cost is currently 950, and I'm going to want cream as well. So I am looking at 9, 10, 11, about $12. All right. So my coffee cost me $12. And of course, I could have different combinations or permutations of my coffee. I could say I want a small coffee, sugar, yes, cream, no. Right? And I will end up paying $8.50 for that. So the thing that I want you to understand is there are three things that I am checking for. So I must use three independent ifs in my code. Okay? Now, some of you might be asking, why is it that I couldn't use if and elif and then else? Or if, elif, elif? And the reason is when we said we wanted a large coffee, then Python would have said, okay, great, that's true. So it will not execute or it will not check the other elifs. Okay? Because remember, when you have an if along with an elif, only one of them will ever be true or only one of them will ever execute. But in this program, that's not what we want. We want to check for three independent conditions. And so we need three independent if conditions. Great. I hope that makes sense. In the next video, we're going to look at this inside Python Tutor to see how Python actually goes about checking each of these conditions. I will see you then.